Hi, we're going to discuss the care and feeding of your World War German sniper rifle today. Now, first thing, knowledge. I recommend the Richard Law Sniper Variations. Very good book. We're going to be looking at some of the rifles that are in Mr. Law's excellent book. First of all, the most important basic item when you've picked up a World War I or World War II German sniper rifle is to get yourself a go and no-go gauges, because you don't know the headspace, or that weapon may have been through 2 world wars and you don't know what's happened to it since. So these no-go and go gauges are absolutely critical for safety, because you don't want that bolt coming back and going right through your eyeball. Number 2, you're going to want a good pair of binoculars. You don't want something you bought at Walmart. You absolutely want to have a pair of World War I, or in this case World War II binoculars. That's for sure. All right. Number 3. Chances are, unless you want to pay a buck a round, you're going to be using Czech ammo from the 1950s. It's cheap, and it's plentiful, and it's surefire. It is, however, corrosive. Nothing wrong with corrosive ammo, but you got to really clean that gun. And you can't wait until you get back home to clean it, because it'll already start hurting the barrel. So it's imperative that out at the range you bring your portable weapon holder so that you can clean your gun. Okay, here's a tip. Always get a bore brush that is several sizes too big. Remember, it's made out of copper. It's not going to hurt your bore. In this case, we've got one for a 375. Remember, for every shot you make, you need to punch it one time with a brass and one time with a piece of cloth. Okay. Now, the first rifle we're going to shoot is a World War I sniper. The survival rate is not real high on these things because of the Treaty of Versailles. Treaty of Versailles banned a lot of cool things, not just sniper rifles. It banned pistols with shoulder stocks, like this broom handle Mauser. It banned the long Luger and its shoulder stock. Here's some cleaning patches that we're going to punch the bore after we're done shooting. Okay, I've got here a Dr. Unertl scope, very, very common scope in World War I snipers. Since they had to be destroyed after the war, and a lot of them were destroyed in the combat, World War I rifle that you encounter, it might be at the Louisville show, that's the big one, or you might just, I got this baby from an ad that I put in the paper, and this, if you live in any kind of area where there are retirees, you'd be surprised what these old boys have stuck up in their closets. It may have been their dads or their gramps, but they got them. Okay. Here's your World War I Queer 98. I'm going to fit the scope onto it. The scope, of course, lives in its little carrying case. Now, the Germans usually carried their scope in the case and shot the weapon just as a conventional rifle. But when they needed to make that extra long or difficult shot, they would take their scope out, and it fits in real quick, and you hear that satisfying click. They re-zero perfectly at every time. All right. Now, of course, always make sure you've got a completely safe weapon. I didn't do that, my bad. We're going to set the rifle up over here just for a second. And we're going to get out our go, no-go gauges. We're going to take the scope back off. And here's our 8mm Mauser. Go! Remember, it's not exactly the same size as the bullet. It's the size of the back of the case. Okay. little technical difficulty here, because the funny peculiarity of the Mauser is the extractor makes it, you cannot just put a round in the chamber and close it. The extractor hits it. So you've got to kind of catch the bullet on the extractor, which can be a little bit of a fight. Ah! Success. Oh, now look, it closes on that bullet. Okay? That's why this is called the go round. Okay? The next one, and it's worth the hassle, because if either one of them, if the go one won't close, okay, that means there's not enough headspace. But the really crucial one here is the no-go, obviously. And again, you got to kind of hook it in the extractor, kind of a little bit of a pain in the neck. And look, I can't make the bolt close. Now, if I took this hammer, and you're wondering why I have a hammer out here, you'll see in a minute. It will not close. So you were good to go. Completely safe rifle. That would be no joke. That armorer from Sarco about 12 years ago in New Jersey, he was shooting, and he had too much headspace. The bolt came right through his eye, killed him immediately. They didn't even bother to take him in the meat wagon. All right, we're going to put the scope back on. Again, this is what's called a double claw. It's got two claws here in the front. And this type of mounting system is originated in Czechoslovakia. It's got two ears on the back. So you set it in and hear that click. Now you know it's 0. Okay, we're going to open up a box of this inexpensive ammo. You can get this from JG Sales. Here, right on it says 1951 in Czech writing. This stuff is good ammo. It is not. It can be ordered on charging clips or just single rounds. In this case, you can't put it. You can't load it on a charging clip because the scope's in the way. And the way those snipers did it anyway was they did it one shot at a time. All right, we're going to. A peculiarity of the scopes of this period is you can tune them so that you can either shoot with your glasses or without your glasses. That's accomplished by the dial here on the back. Frankly, I don't know if this rifle's tuned for my glasses or not, so we'll keep my glasses handy. Okay. I'm going to go over here. We're going to lock and load. One loose round. Okay, now look. We're going to put the safety on. Now these babies kick, and when you're shooting from a sitting position, you're shooting with the buttstock is a little bit higher up on your shoulder, and it's not getting the meat of your shoulder, it's getting the bone up here. So it wouldn't hurt. You just make a little cloth or something between you and the weapon. Okay. I'm going to take the safety off. Very, very nice sight picture. This is set up perfect. And remember, these babies kick. So I don't want, nobody should develop a flinch or anything like that. Just let the rifle surprise you when it goes off. All right. Fire 3 times. 3 times to get your pattern. Watch your breathing. Okay? All right. the third one, then we're going to go down range. We're just shooting at 100 yards. That's not sniper distance, but we want to see, we want to see how we're patterning. Once we get her figured out at 100 yards, we'll move up to 200 and then 300. It's at 300 that you really start to see how the rifle's shooting, that's for sure. Now the standards for the German snipers were it had to hit the size of a human face at 200 yards. That is not a real high standard by today's standards, but it's a good working test, because that's all you got to do is you got to hit somebody in the head, stick it out of their little trench at 200 yards without fail. And if a rifle could do that, then it was shipped out. If it wouldn't, they just take the scope and the mounts off and return the rifle just to a regular infantry. All right. We're going to make a complete safe weapon. We're going to open up the breech. We're going to put it over here with some other sniper rifles from World War I and World War II. Okay, let's go on down range and see how we did. Well, only one. That's off target. Looks like we're shooting to the left and low. Okay, well, we'll patch her up and we'll go over what it takes to get the weapon on target. Okay, so we're shooting a little to the left. That means we've got to cock the scope a little bit to the left, which forces the barrel a little bit to the right, right? Now to do that, we either need to drift the front claw mounts to the left, bringing the scope over to the left, or the right mounts on the back to the right, okay? Why don't we, just for fun, start with the front mounts, and we're just going to give them the tiniest little whack. Now, what you want to do in something like this is your eye can't really see very small movements. So you take your knife and you make a little mark, okay? This baby's seen at least one more, and a little mark is not going to hurt anything. All right. I mean, these rifles are rare, but they're meant to be shot, okay? Now you take your hammer, you take a brass punch, okay? And you just put it on there, and you're going to whack it just a little bit. Okay, that's a little bit. Now, on these World War I and World War II German scopes, the elevation is, that's the vertical, is up on top, and you turn it right to make it go up. Just remember, people that do right go up. Okay. So we need, it's on the 2, so we're going to move it over to about 2 and maybe a quarter. And here's the tightening nut. Then we're going to tighten it down good, okay? And we're going to remember that it's like 2 and a quarter, 2 and a third, in case it gets sneaky on us and starts to wander. Okay. We're going to put the rifle back together. You heard that nice satisfying click? All right.